เกือบครึ่งของคนที่เสียชีวิตในกาซากว่า 5,000 คนแล้วนะคะขณะนี้มีรายงานว่ากว่า 2,000 คนเป็นเด็กดิฉันคุยกับเจ้าหน้าที่ด้านการสื่อสารของยูนิเซฟประจำตะวันออกกลางขอให้เล่าสถานการณ์วิกฤตที่กำลังเกิดขึ้นต่อเด็กๆในกาซาค่ะ
Until this moment, over 2,000 children were killed in Gaza during the last 17, 18 days, which is a huge number. Over 4,000, almost 5,000 children have been injured, and we're talking about different kinds and levels of injury. So children are really in a devastating, horrifying state. Their mental health, their emotional health is really impacted because many of those children have lost their parents, sisters, brothers, whole families and houses, neighborhoods. So those who survived the violence, they live with an emotional, mental scar that can last a lifetime, and that's what we need to work with. We are trying to provide some mental support, as I said, and in the coming days, hopefully, we can distribute the equipment for what we call recreational kits, which helps children be children again, play a little bit wherever in the shelters they are in.
How does UNICEF team explain to them regarding the current crisis?
Well, unfortunately, it's not about explaining now. Children are actually witnessing, which is really hard. It's not like you tell a child who is in a different country what's happening in Gaza. Now children are seeing dead people, dead bodies. They're seeing their parents, and we're hearing horrific stories. Children having to identify their parents, dead parents, having to live with amputation of one of their limbs. It's really hard for an adult to deal with. So you can imagine how hard it is to deal with children. Unfortunately, now because it's widespread, the violence, it's more of not talking about what's happening, but actually dealing with the aftermath of what's happening to try and calm them. And we see on the news humanitarians, nurses, doctors, even the press. They hold children, they try to calm them, and they try to assure them that everything will be all right. Unfortunately, for some of them, they lost families. So yeah, so it's really a heartbreaking thing to deal with this trauma with children.
What's your particular concern for children, especially for the future? What should be mechanism to help them for the future?
So first of all, is the protection of children is really important, and now children are not safe, and that's why our cause is for an immediate ceasefire or at least a humanitarian pause to be able to reach children and provide them with the aid that they need. In addition to that, we need to give them the main assistance that they need, especially water, fuel for the hospitals to be able to run, and for the water desalination plants to run, and medical supplies to treat thousands and thousands of injured people. And now we are risking over 100 infants in incubators. Some of them are on ventilators. Those are newborns who need 24/7 machines to run for them. And unfortunately, if electricity runs out, their lives might run out too. So this is really important to get now, is the fuel for these hospitals, for these kids, for these children, and for all other stuff. Of course, for the long run, violence needs to stop, and some mental health and some support needs to be given for children.